Have you ever noticed how just one stressful phone call can make your blood pressure spike? Or those moments when you're sitting still, yet your heart races, your breath shortens, and your mind refuses to calm down? I've met many people like that. They walk into my clinic with numbers like 160, 170, sometimes even higher. And the same familiar question, "Doctor, why can't my medication keep my blood pressure steady?" And I usually smile and say gently, maybe your body's waiting for something much simpler, something you've forgotten for a long time, your own breath. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But trust me, after more than 30 years working with patients over 50, I've learned this. Nothing is more powerful than a deep, mindful breath. And often what raises your blood pressure isn't salt or age, but the way you breathe when you're anxious. I'll never forget one of my patients, Maria, 67 years old, a kind woman, always smiling, but filled with quiet worry inside. Her blood pressure often stayed above 150, even though she took her medication faithfully, watched her diet, and walked every day. Whenever she felt stressed, the numbers shot up like a rocket. One afternoon, we sat together in my office. I said, "Maria, today we're going to try something that's not in your prescription. No pills, no injections. Something you already carry within you, your breath." She laughed, thinking I was joking. But just 5 minutes later, after following the inhale, hold, exhale rhythm I guided her through, we measured again. The result, 121 over 71. She started to cry. And I'll admit, my eyes got a little wet too. Not because of a miracle, but because of a truth. Sometimes the body doesn't need more medicine. It just needs to be listened to and gently guided back to its natural rhythm. Now imagine this. Your body is like a finely tuned piano. When you're stressed, someone keeps slamming the keys. The sound becomes harsh and chaotic. But when you breathe deeply and slowly, it's like laying your hands gently on the keys again, tuning the harmony. And suddenly, each note, your heartbeat, blood pressure, and breath, begins to flow together. Science backs this up too. Studies from hypertension research in the Journal of Human Hypertension have shown that just 5 minutes a day of slow, deep breathing can lower systolic blood pressure by 8 to 15 millimeters of mercury after a few weeks. No side effects, no devices, no cost. Just you, your breath, and a few quiet moments. You might be thinking, that's hard to believe, doctor. Can breathing really help? I understand that feeling, because in our modern world, we're used to complicated solutions. But sometimes the simplest thing is exactly what your body is longing for. Here's what many people forget. The human body was built with an incredible ability, self-balance. We've just forgotten how to activate it. When you breathe deeply, the vagus nerve, a highway that connects your lungs, heart, and brain, gets stimulated. It sends a message throughout your body saying, you're safe now. Your heart slows down, your blood vessels relax, and your blood pressure naturally falls. It's just like soothing a crying child. One gentle voice, and peace returns. I've seen many patients transform just by practicing mindful breathing. Jose, 70 years old, had lived for years with readings around 160 over 95. After 3 weeks of 10-minute daily breathing practice, his blood pressure dropped to 125 over 80. He didn't stop his medication, but he told me, my body feels lighter, I sleep deeper, and my mind isn't as tense anymore. That's what I want you to understand today. Breathing techniques aren't magic, and they don't replace medication. They're companions, a natural brake system that helps you regain control of your body instead of letting stress control you. When we're young, we can stay up late, eat salty food, drink coffee, and feel fine. But after 50, everything changes. The body reacts more strongly, and the heart becomes more sensitive. That's when we need to slow down, to listen to the signals we used to ignore. Have you ever noticed yourself holding your breath when you're worried? Or breathing fast when you're rushing? Your body remembers every one of those moments, and each time, your blood pressure quietly rises, little by little. Today, I don't just want to teach you a breathing exercise. I want to remind you that in every inhale, there's a chance to begin again. And in every exhale, there's a chance to release tension, worry, and fear. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. Just a few minutes in your full presence. I'm here not just as a doctor, but as someone who has seen hundreds of hearts find their calm rhythm again through nothing more than their breath. So in the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the 4-2-6 breathing technique, a simple exercise that can change the way you feel and gently help your blood pressure return to a healthy level. You don't have to believe it right away. Just stay with me, breathe with me. And by the end of this video, I believe you'll feel a difference, not just in the numbers on the blood pressure monitor, but in the rhythm of your own heart. Have you ever noticed this? There are days when you walk into a doctor's office, sit down in the chair, and before you even say a word, your heart is already beating faster than usual. Then the nurse wraps the cuff around your arm, your palms start to sweat, your breath shortens. And yes, the numbers on the screen jump up. But a few hours later, when you check your blood pressure at home, everything's perfectly normal again. That's not a coincidence. I call it the body memory response. Your body doesn't just remember physical pain, it remembers feelings of anxiety, the sounds, the lights, even the smell of the clinic. It reacts the same way it did before, as if trying to protect you from something. But here's the paradox. That very protective mechanism is what makes your blood pressure rise. One of my patients, Linda, 64 years old, experienced this every time she came to the hospital. Her blood pressure was always so high, the nurse had to take it 3 times. Yet when I lent her a home blood pressure monitor, her readings were remarkably steady. After a few conversations, we realized Linda wasn't afraid of being sick. She was afraid of being examined, of those moments when she felt she had no control. And maybe you felt that too. Not the fear of illness, but the fear of losing control over your own body. As we move past 50, our bodies don't respond as quickly as before, but they become more sensitive. Sensitive to stress, to a short night's sleep, to a salty meal, or a gray morning without sunlight. Blood pressure doesn't just reflect your cardiovascular health. It mirrors your state of mind. Picture this. When you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, your heart races, your blood vessels tighten, and your blood pressure climbs. But when you take a slow, deep breath and exhale gently, the parasympathetic system, the soothing side of your body, comes alive. It slows your heartbeat, relaxes your vessels, and lets your body return to balance. And this isn't just a feeling, it's proven science. A study from Harvard University found that just 10 minutes of deep breathing a day for 3 consecutive weeks lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 to 10 millimeters of mercury in older adults. I'm not talking about complex meditation or yoga, just sitting quietly, closing your eyes and listening to your own breath. I'll never forget what Linda told me after a few weeks of practice. Doctor, for the first time in years, I feel like I'm in control of my body, not the other way around. And that's when I realized, sometimes we don't need more medicine. We just need to relearn how to live with our bodies. You see, blood pressure doesn't only change with age or genetics. It changes when you carry worry, anger, or even loneliness in your heart. I once told my patient, your body hears every word your mind whispers each day. If you keep telling yourself, I'm tired, I'm scared, I'm sick, your body will believe it, responding with a faster heartbeat and higher blood pressure. But if you say, I'm calm, I'm breathing, I'm still here, your body will believe that too. The beautiful thing is, inner peace doesn't have to be something grand. It can begin with the smallest moment, a slow breath, a quiet pause, or a morning when you sit by the window, sip your tea and leave the TV off. Inhale, exhale. Your blood pressure may not drop instantly, but your mind begins to soften. And that's where true healing starts. I want you to try this with me right now. Sit up straight but not stiff. Relax your shoulders, rest your hands on your thighs, and gently close your eyes. Now I want you to inhale softly for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 2 seconds and exhale slowly for 6 seconds. That's it. The 4-2-6 breath. a natural rhythm your heart truly loves. When you inhale, your diaphragm moves downward, your heart expands, and blood flows more freely. When you hold your breath, your nervous system has a moment to register that everything is okay. And when you exhale, your body releases. Not just the air in your lungs, but also the invisible tension and worry you've been carrying all day. One of my patients, Robert, 72 years old, told me after 2 weeks of practice, "Doctor, I don't hear my heart pounding at night anymore. Now I sleep deeply and peacefully, like I did when I was young." Robert had taken mild sedatives for nearly 10 years, but when he began to focus on his breath, everything started to change. Not quickly, but steadily. Night after night, breath by breath. This technique isn't magic. It's so simple that many people overlook it, thinking, how could breathing possibly help my blood pressure? But here's the truth. I've seen hundreds of my patients transform just by relearning how to breathe properly. Modern medical research has shown that slow, deep breathing activates the vagus nerve, helping to lower heart rate, dilate blood vessels, and calm the entire nervous system. That's why people who practice mindful breathing often have more stable blood pressure, better sleep, and clearer minds. I often tell my patients, don't make breathing an exercise, make it a habit. You can practice the 4-2-6 breath in the morning when you wake up, or at night before bed. You can even do it while waiting for your coffee or sitting in your car at a red light. No meditation required, no candles, no rituals. Just a few quiet moments and your full attention. Once, a 68-year-old woman named Margaret told me, "Doctor, I didn't just slow down my breathing, I started slowing down my life." And I smiled, because that's exactly what breath does. It teaches us how to come back to ourselves. When you breathe deeply, you send a message to your brain that says, I'm safe. I don't need to rush. And when your brain believes that, everything in your body begins to shift. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, even your emotions. I've seen people who lived with anxiety for years find restful sleep, calm, and even the quiet confidence that they still have control over their own bodies, all through their breath. I want you to remember this. You can't control everything in life, but you can control your breath. And when you control your breath, you hold the key to inner peace. Each time you inhale, think, I am receiving life. Each time you exhale, think, I am letting go of what I no longer need. Slowly, gently, consistently. That's not just a way to breathe, it's a way to live. To live fully, peacefully, and kindly with your own body. You know, when we're young, we rarely pay attention to our breath. We run, we work, we worry, we love, and we breathe without even thinking about it. But as the years go by, when the body starts sending signals, fatigue, irregular blood pressure, a racing heart, we begin to realize something. The breath, that thing we've always taken for granted, is what's been keeping us alive. Every second, every minute. I once asked one of my patients, Helen, who's 70 years old, how do you feel after practicing steady breathing every day? She smiled and said, I feel younger, not because my skin looks better or my heart is stronger, but because I'm no longer afraid of time. That answer stayed with me, because in truth, breathing doesn't make us younger. It helps us live more fully in the present moment. And when the mind is truly present, worries about the future and regrets about the past simply fade away. When that happens, the body naturally becomes stronger. Not through magic, but because it's no longer being stretched thin by endless thoughts. Have you ever noticed? As we grow older, we tend to speak less, but sigh more. Each sigh is the body's way of saying it's tired, or that the mind is carrying too much. But if we replace that sigh with a conscious breath, everything changes. Because a deep breath doesn't just bring oxygen into your lungs, it brings acceptance, forgiveness, and peace. I often tell my patients, breath is the bridge between the body and the soul. When that bridge is strong, both sides are at peace. Many people believe that health is all about medicine, test results, or numbers on a screen. But after more than 30 years as a physician, I've learned that true health begins with stillness. With the moment you sit down, take a deep breath, and simply listen to your heartbeat. I've seen people in their 80s, strong, sharp, and full of life. Not because they had the best prescriptions, but because they treated their bodies with kindness every single day. They knew how to rest, how to listen, and most importantly, how to breathe with gratitude. Think about it. Your heart has been beating nonstop all these years. Your lungs have drawn in millions of breaths, and yet we rarely say thank you. So today, just for 1 minute, take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and whisper to yourself, "Thank you, my body." Your blood pressure may not drop instantly, but your spirit will feel lighter. And that's the first step to healing from the inside out. Because at 50, 60, or 70, what truly matters isn't living longer. It's living peacefully. Breathing won't slow down time, but it helps you walk more gently through time so that each passing day isn't just another number. It's a gift. So if you're hearing my voice right now, pause for a few seconds. Place your hand over your heart. Feel your heartbeat. And remember you're still here. You're still breathing. And that, my friend, is nothing short of a miracle. You know, sometimes in medicine, we forget the simplest truth. Health isn't just about lab results. It's about how we meet ourselves every single day. Your breath, small and quiet as it may seem, has been your most loyal companion through every step of life. It's there when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're worried, when you're at peace, and even in your loneliest moments, it has never left you. I want you to remember this. Every time you take a deep breath in, hold it for 2 seconds and exhale slowly. You're not just calming your heart. You're telling your body, "I'm still here. I'm still choosing peace." I've met so many patients who tell me, "Doctor, I'm not young anymore. I can't really change much." And I always respond, "That's okay. You don't need to change the world. Just change the rhythm of your breath, and the world within you will begin to change." The 4-2-6 breathing we practice together isn't some magical exercise. It's a quiet conversation between you and yourself. It's a reminder that your body isn't your enemy. It's simply waiting to be heard, to be loved, and to be forgiven. Make this breathing a small daily ritual. In the morning, to begin your day with gratitude. At night, to end it with peace. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes that belong only to you. And if today, after watching this video, you decide to give yourself those 5 minutes, then congratulations. You've just taken the first step on your true healing journey. I know, life isn't always easy. There are days when your blood pressure rises, nights when you can't sleep, moments when aging feels heavy and tiring. But please remember, you are not alone. There are millions of people around the world, just like you, learning to breathe again, to slow down, to live more peacefully, starting today. If what I've shared resonates with you, leave me a comment below and tell me how you feel after trying this technique. I read every comment, truly, and your stories are what inspire me to keep going. And don't forget to subscribe because in upcoming videos, I'll be sharing more ways to reduce stress, sleep better, and protect your heart naturally. All starting from small, simple things, just like your breath. The doctor pauses, looking directly into the camera. Before you go, I want you to do one thing. Right now, place your hand over your heart. Take a deep breath in, hold for 2 seconds, and slowly exhale. Feel that heartbeat. That's life, right there inside you. Cherish it, because every breath you take is a new chance to begin again, no matter your age. I'm Dr. David Reynolds, and I hope today you'll breathe a little slower and live a little deeper. See you in the next video. And remember, breathe in, breathe out, smile. You're alive. And that, my friend, is the greatest miracle of all.